Okay, so there was a question about specifically how to move a scene from one bank to another, and I'm going to show you two ways to do that. So when you have K-Configurator up and loaded, you plug in your USB and you select the USB here. Once you have the USB selected, you'll go up to Utilities and you'll do, I'm going to show you Single Tree View first. You'll go to Single Tree View, and when that next menu comes up, it will show you all of the backups that you have available. So here you can see I have 3 backups that are on my current USB. So let's say I'm going to manipulate the one called Greg Backup. So I would select that and I would say OK. This then opens up a complete directory tree that has all of the banks and scenes that are available on that backup. And let's say that you wanted to move, for example, scene A in bank 1 to scene A in bank 2. You would merely click the icon to the left of the source scene that you're trying to move, and then you'll drag it to where you want. And what's important here is the yellow outline box. That tells you where it's going to drop to. So in this particular case, I just want to make sure that that box is outlined appropriately, and then I release the mouse key. And when I do that, you'll see that the scene from scene A from bank 1 has now been moved to scene A of bank 2. You can also drop across different scenes. So if I wanted to take, for example, scene E in bank 2, and I wanted to place it in scene A of bank 1, I would do the exact same process. Highlight the icon to the left of the source scene, press and hold the mouse button, pull it up to where you want to copy or move it to, and then make sure the yellow box is surrounding the destination, and then release. And then you'll see that we've moved Jazz Clarinet from scene E in bank 2 to scene A in bank 1. If you need to move beyond what's available on the screen here during the move process, you can hold it, and as you move closer to the edge, the screen will begin to scroll. And you can do this in both directions, right? So you can go up and you can go down, and you can land on whichever location that you want and release it, and that scene will move. You also have the ability to highlight a scene, right-click, and mark it as empty. So as you can see, returned it back to empty. That's one way of doing it. This is a destructive process because it, in effect, modifies the backup that you have loaded currently. So let me show you a little bit better way that I think most users will prefer. So the first thing that you would do is that you would go into Dual Tree View. And in Dual Tree View, you would select, for example, Greg Backup. And I want to make a copy of this. So I'm going to actually do this here for you. So I'm going to make a copy of that, that particular backup. And so I'm going to go down here with that highlighted and say duplicate. And I'm going to give it a name. So I'm going to call this one, test copy. And so what it's doing now is it's making a complete reproduction or copy of the Greg backup files that are currently selected. So we're going to let this finish, and then I'll show you the next step. In addition, when you're in these source and destination backup folder dialogues, you have the ability to duplicate an existing backup. You have the ability to delete a backup. This is destructive, so be careful, because once it's deleted, you can't get it back. If you have multiple backups, so some of us have 5, 10, 15, 20, you can sort through them either ascending alphabetically or descending. Okay, so now we've created a copy called test copy, and so Greg Backup and test copy are identical in this particular case. So now what I'm going to do is it says select a source backup folder. So I'm going to select Richard Noel's scenes and banks as my source, and I'm going to say OK. Now it's asking me for, well, what destination backup folder do you want to modify or use? So in this case, I want to use the test copy. And so I'm going to go ahead and select it and say OK. So now that opens up a window that contains two trees. The one on the left is the Noel stuff, and the one on the right is my test copy. So I am not destructively modifying my original backup, because this way if something goes wrong or I don't like what I've done, I haven't destroyed that original backup that I made. So now in this menu you can drag from left to right. So if I wanted to take and move this A Foxy accordion from Bank 3 Scene A over to, let's say, Bank 2 Scene A, I can do the same thing. Click and hold on the icon, bring it over here, and let go. Make sure the box denotes the destination drop where you want it to occur. I can also move entire banks this way. So for example, if I wanted to, let's go down here to bank, let's go down here to, oh, well, let me show you this. You can also collapse these just to banks, if that makes it any easier, or you can expand them. So let's go down here to, let's say, bank 81. I think that was the example. And let's say I want to take all of bank 1 and I want to put it in bank 81. So I could do the same thing, but I could just drag the bank icon and make sure you drop it on a bank. And when I do that, you'll see that it has now brought scenes A, B, C, D, E, and F from the Noel September 15th backup over to my test copy backup. Additionally, you can go both ways. So I can actually take scenes from the right side and I can move it to the left. Be careful with this because obviously you're modifying the source and you may not want to do it, but I had a few users that requested the ability to go back and forth. You also have the ability to select multiple scenes contiguously. So I could take scenes A, B, and C and using the Shift key, highlight them all, and then I could take the first scene there, which would be A, click and hold, and I want to drop it on the destination of where I want it to go. So if I want to move it to bank 1 in the same position, A, B, and C, I would do that. And as you can see now, they're the same. If I want to take and I want to drop this same thing, A, B, and C, maybe I want to put it on D, E, and F. I'll put it up here somewhere. Then it will move those particular scenes over here to that bank in the positions that you denoted based on what you had selected. So that's the premise or the idea of how you're able to quickly copy scenes or banks back and forth. The other feature that I've added is the ability to edit the names right here in the trees themselves. So if, for example, I don't want to call this Jazz 1 Clarinet, maybe I just want to call it Clarinet, I can double click on it, I can type in Clarinet, and I've now changed, well, I misspelled it first of all, so let me fix that. Clarinet. So there we go. So now that's been changed. So that's a way, and you can do that on any tree. So over here, if I didn't like the word ballad in front, I could go here. Maybe I could take the word ballad out and just call it guitar and strings. And so you'll see it's called guitar and strings. So that's the idea. Hope that helps. There'll be a lot more videos like this in the coming days and weeks ahead. I'll have them online, and I will also have them in the documentation section. I should also show you that I've recently added under documentation Richard Noel's videos that will come up instantly and give you a demonstration of all of his banks and scenes. The first video is part 1, which is banks 1 to 15. The second video is his 16 to 24 banks. So it gives you a preview and an ability to see and hear his great sound library